Join us.
They used to call me Crazy Joe, but now they can call me Batman.
What up? Welcome back once again to the Necro Zoo. I am Bones. And in this one, let's go ahead and add one more figure to my McFarlane DC Multiverse collection. Now this time it is going to be Parallax. Now I did go into a random Walmart today and find two of these. So the figure gods were definitely looking down upon me. Now, of course, these just randomly started popping up at random stores. Everybody's looking for them, and I luckily came upon two of them. Now, we have seen Parallax figures before. I think from the Total Justice line, and then later from DC Direct, we also received a figure. Pretty big history going back into the comic books. Of course, this is Hal Jordan when he becomes possessed. And then it has to do with all the rings. Pretty complicated story, but it is a classic storyline. Now he does look pretty possessed in the packaging, so let's go ahead and take a closer look at him. But first, he does come with your standard black DC Multiverse stand. Now these are not always needed, but they come in useful. He also comes with his data file card. On the front you have some source material of Parallax. And on the back, you do have some information. Now, he also does come with some accessories. He comes with these two, like, construct force effects here. Pretty nice tint of green. And then they are slightly different because he does have two different hands, a fist and a grasping hand. But pretty nice. He also comes with his lantern charger battery. Pretty nice translucent plastic. The only thing is it is not articulated at the handle, but pretty nice actually. It'll go well with your figure. So let's go ahead and take a closer look at it. Starting off, first impressions. I want to say this guy's plastic feels really, really nice. I don't know what it is. It does have a sort of matte paint, which is my preferred paint scheme. It's, I would say, a little bit more satin, but it does have like a toned down paint scheme to it, so really nice. Does look like Parallax from the comics, so they did a good job there. And I think this is like the culmination of everything that McFarlane has released is all, starting to come together, where the figures are just a little bit more tighter, the articulation's just a lot more smoother, and the materials are like, top notch. So pretty happy with it. Let's take a look at the head. Now, of course, online you hear a lot of rumblings that he has jet black hair. Now, he actually does on top, but as you go to the back, it gets a little bit lighter. And then surprisingly, in the back, he has the gray hair that he should actually have on the sides of his temples. But that's fine. I'm always down for a little repaint, so we'll end up repainting this guy, even if it is just minor details. But the actual head sculpt is really, really nice. I mean, the mask looks awesome. The detail in the face is there. Instead of just being like one flat plastic color, you do have a lot of shading and skin tones in there, which is nice to see. Now, articulation, can't look up too much, but we could always mod the head. Now, he can look down. Just be careful with his collar. And then he can look to the right, to the left. And you can tilt his head for some attitude. So aside from the hair, which is an easy fix, awesome head sculpt, really accurate to the comics. Aside from the hair, it could use a little bit of brown wash. and then the white temples, which we will do. Now moving down, let's take a look at the chest. Awesome sculpt work here. You can see all the piping lines and all the detail. That circle in the middle of his chest, and then some really nice silver to accent in there. Really, really nice figure. Just starting off. Now let's take a look at the waist. He does have side to side. Does have that full twisting motion at the waist. And you can turn him to get him in some cool poses. He does have a lower waist swivel and an upper chest swivel that work really nicely. He does have some crunch to the front, more than usual. And of course he can lean back really well for flying poses. So that's all good there. Taking a look at the arm. Awesome butterfly shoulder joint here that has a lot of motion. Front to back and up and down. A lot of range there. Bicep cut. Beautiful double jointed elbows. And I mean beautiful because look at the cut here. They've really, fixed that where it doesn't look too appealing to the eye. And it looks really smooth, like the outer line. Moving down into the forearm gauntlets, looks really good. More cool sculpt work in the forearms. Transitioning down into the fist. Now pretty awesome touch with the translucent fist there. And he does have a wrist ball joint. Now, surprisingly, this one fits really well and is hidden really nicely. So even though they have advanced in their wrist and ankle articulation, it wouldn't be needed if the wrist balls would have just, fit nicely. But it takes nothing away from this awesome figure. On the other arm, we have the same sculpt work with another translucent hand, like a grasping hand. He can get a T-pose. And the pauldrons, the shoulder pauldrons are pliable. So if you want to, you can actually get his arms pretty much straight up. They do move out of the way, so that's really nice. Going down to the bottom, let's take a look at the thighs. Awesome thigh swivel there. A lot of range in those thighs. Who really wants thigh cuts? Ugh. Now he can kick up and he could kick back really nicely. You could cock his leg. He does have that nice thigh articulation. Double jointed knees, which also look really nice and smooth compared to previous figures. Straighten them out. Now down at the ankle, you have the same old school ball joint, but it does not detract from the figure. It fits in really smoothly and doesn't really break up the lines, which is what you want. And now they have moved on to sculpted ankle joints, which look a lot nicer. But this is how you do it if you're actually using the ball. You hide it really well and you still have up and down articulation. Right to left. Rocker. And toe articulation. Now before we go, let's take a look at the lower body leg sculpt. Really nice work here. You have like this soft rubber where the black is. And even the bottom is more of a satin matte finish to the paint, which I really, really like. Looking at the bottom, kind of some tread there, but no identifying marks. Moving up the back, more beautiful sculpt work. They really outdid themselves with this one. Take a look at the cape. Now this cape actually looks more like Superboy Prime's cape. And it is really pliable and soft. But it has that same swooping action, so fits the figure perfectly. And in the back, like I said, you do have that gray paint on the back of his hair, which they should have done a little bit more on the sides, which would look a lot better. Anyways, guys, can't say enough good things about this figure. Really, really nice McFarlane figure if you could find him. Now, he is at Walmart, so you want to hunt him down, go out there and find him. I think he's going to be really sought after. But before we go, let's do some size comparisons. First, let's put him up with my custom repainted Power Suit Lex Luthor. And then let's go ahead and throw him up next to Clayface. And finally, let's bring out the lanterns. You have the regular classic Hal Jordan, and of course, John Stewart. So anyways, guys, really happy with this figure. I will be doing a little bit of repainting, and then I'll show it to you guys. Not too much, because he is pretty close to perfect. Comes with all the constructs and the lantern, so all that's all good. But you guys keep hunting out there, keep collecting, keep customizing, and I will see you on the next one.